In today's video, I am going to give you the pattern and the instructions on how you can crochet this hanging luminary. It can also be a tabletop luminary, but I'm going to give you step by step on how you can easily crochet this yourself. Hi, I'm Kara with DIY on the House, and I want to thank you so much for watching our channel. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. We have playlists of crocheting and rug weaving and home repairs and plumbing tips and RV repairs. There's just a whole list of information that would be valuable for your house. So please consider subscribing. And if at any time in this video, if you have any questions, comment down below. I do the best I can to reply to those comments as quick as possible. But today I am going to show you how to crochet this luminary. It was probably nine years ago, I want to say, that I made dozens of these for a wedding. We hung them under the pergola, we put candles in them, and it was actually stunning. So I've thought about it ever since then, how I would love to have some of these on my patio. So today I'm going to show you how you can use different yarn and different string to crochet the luminary. Different crochet hook sizes dictate how big of a luminary you're going to make. So let's get started, and I'm going to show you how you can crochet your own luminary. To make the luminaries, you can truly use whatever yarn or thread that you have. It can be thin, it can be bulky, just knowing that it will just dictate the size and texture of your luminary. So for example, this luminary here uses the exact same thread. I used a very small D crochet hook for this because I wanted it to be smaller, a little bit more delicate. So it's the same thread that I'm getting ready to do on the next luminary and show you guys how, but I'm going to use an H crochet hook. Instead of a 3.5 inch ring, I am going to use a 5.5 inch ring. So you can download this pattern from Fab Crafts. I have the link down below to the pattern. They suggest using cotton blend, any color of yarn. One ball, you should make at least 2 or 3 luminaries. They also suggest either a 5, 6, or 7 inch ring. You can find the rings in the leather department at the craft store. So to get started, I'm going to use an H crochet hook. This is actually some silk. It says silk noil. I'm not sure what that means. Thread that I found at a thrift store. I just loved the color and the texture, so we will get started. So what I'm going to do is I am just going to follow the pattern step by step. So if you want to print out the pattern, again, the link is down below, and it's also on our website, DIYonthehouse.com. So to start, you make a slip knot. So the way I do a slip knot is I wrap it around my index finger and my thumb. I twist it. There's the tail. So I am going to pull up the actual thread. So I have my slip knot and my H crochet hook. And the first line of instructions says chain 5 and join with a slip knot or slip stitch to form a ring. So 5 would be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. To make the slip stitch, we just put it in that first chain. We put your hook in the first chain, and we draw through the thread through both of them. The next instructions say chain 3, and it says count this as a double crochet. So at the end of this row here, we are supposed to have 16 double crochet stitches. They're saying count this as 1. So now I have to do 15 double crochets in the center. So the center is where you're going to be inserting your hook. This is a good time to include your tail in your stitches, so just lay it around that ring there. So a double crochet, in case you need a refresher, you wrap it over your hook once, put it through that center hole. You're going to pull back through your yarn. So now you have 3 threads on your hook. I'm going to wrap it over once, pull it through 2, wrap it over again, and pull it through the remaining 2. And again, I'm going to include this tail in the stitching, so it's just encased in there. So wrap it over, stick it through, pull it through. We have 3 loops on the hook, pull it through 2, and pull it through 2 more. So now you have 3 double crochet, because this one counted as 1, 2, and 3 double crochet stitches. So I'm going to go ahead and continue, and it says to have 16 total, and then we're going to join with a slip stitch. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So I need to scoot one more double crochet in there, and you might appear that you're out of room. You just slide over your stitches and there should be plenty of room. So here's my last double crochet, and it now says to join with a slip stitch in the beginning of the chain to join. So this is the beginning of the chain right here. So we are going to do a slip stitch, which again is you just insert the hook and pull it through both stitches. So to show you the visual of the difference on the size of crochet hook, this is the bottom of the luminary that I'd already finished with the small D hook. From here to here is the first circle that we just did here. So from this point to this point is the first round. That is exactly this one. So you can see the difference in the size hook. So this one I would say is probably not even quite an inch wide, where that one there is quite a bit bigger. So now we have just completed round 1. So now round 2 says chain 3, 1, 2, 3, double crochet in the same stitch as the join. So that means in this stitch right here, we're going to double crochet. Then the pattern says 2 double crochets in each stitch around. A stitch at this point is the loop that is on the top of your double crochet. So you can see, let me hold this still here. You can see that little V-stitch pattern, that is a stitch. And so they're saying we need to put 2 double crochets in that stitch. So let me put my hook back in, and I'm going to do 2 double crochets. So here's 1. In the same very hole, we're going to do 2. So now we should have 4 stitches. Again, the chains count is 1, 2, 3, and 4. And we continue around putting 2 in the top of each of the stitches in the row below. Okay, I'm getting close to finishing this round, and I have 1 empty hole here left. So we're going to do 2 in that one. And the instructions say, again, to slip stitch in the top of the chain, and at this point we should have 32 stitches. So before I slip stitch, I want to double check that I have 32. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 30, 31, and 32. So at this point we can slip stitch in this top chain. So I'm just going to insert the hook, pull it through both of them. So again, to show you, I just love this visual. Let me use this as a measuring stick. So from here to here is the size of the circle that I used that I made when I used a D hook. Lay that same diameter on this. So from here to here, this is going to be a considerably larger luminary, which was my intention, but I was wanting to use this as a good visual. So we have just now finished round 2. Round 3 says chain 1. So it says to do a single crochet in the same stitch as the join. First of all, to remind you of what a single crochet is, you do not wrap your thread over first. We're going to insert the hook into both of those pieces of thread, and we're going to draw back our string and then draw it through both. That is a single crochet. Now we're going to chain 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and it says skip the next stitch and single crochet in the next one. So we are going to skip this stitch and single crochet here, and then it says continue that around the rest of your row. So we'll stitch here, skip, stitch, skip, stitch all the way around. So I have chained 4. I'm going to skip that one, single crochet, chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, skip that stitch, single crochet, 1, 2, 3, 4, skip and single crochet, and I'm going to continue this the rest of the way around this row. Okay, I have went around and I have one gap left here. So if I skip this one, there is the next place that you would expect to put your single crochet. But when you get to your last space, you need to, according to the directions, you need to chain 1, and then you need to double crochet in this first single crochet. So I'm going to double crochet into that first single spot, that first single stitch, and there you have completed the row. So let me explain why that works, because to be honest, the first time I made these for that wedding, I was a little confused. This double crochet, just as in the beginning, chains act as a double crochet, this double crochet acts as a chain. So now we've completed round 3, and you now continue the same pattern for as tall as you want it, which on this is approximately 17 rows according to the pattern. You can make it as tall as you want or as short as you want. This one is actually 17 rows on here, but again, it's a very small stitch. So to do round 4 and the subsequent rows, to start it is just a little bit different. We're going to chain 1, and we are going to single crochet in this double crochet area. So we're going to single crochet there. And now you are going to chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and put a single crochet in the top of each of these chain 4 sections around. So again, we're going to 1, 2, 3, and 4, single crochet, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and single crochet. So I'm going to continue this and show you how to join up to the beginning of the row. I'm now at the end of row 4, and this is where we started. This is where I chained 1 and did my single crochet to start. We're around here to this end, and I'm going to put my single crochet in that last spot just as normal. So I'm going to chain 1, and then I am going to double crochet in that beginning single crochet of that round. So we now have completed 4 rounds. This is 1, 2, 3, and 4. To continue, you do the same thing over and over again. And if you're like me, sometimes circles mess with my brain on where the beginning and the end is. If you're having trouble remembering where you stop and start, you can put a little safety pin here, because to be honest, it does start blending together. So you can put a little safety pin there, and that will just tell you, hey, I'm at the beginning of the round. So again, to begin the round, we're going to chain 1. We are going to single crochet in the same spot. We're going to chain 4 and go around to the other side. When you get to the safety pin, you're going to chain 1 and double crochet in that stitch and continue around until you have 17 rows. At the end of the 17 rows, I'll come back and I will show you how we are going to attach this ring to the top of the luminary, because the ring is inside here already on this one, and so I'm going to show you how we're going to do it on this one. So I went ahead and continued crocheting my rounds. The pattern suggests to go 17 rounds. I wanted this one a little bit taller, so this is 20 rounds. So we're ready to put the ring on. The pattern actually says to fasten off at this point. I like to have as little tails as possible, so I'm not going to fasten off. I did chain 1, and this is half of a chain 4 space. In each chain 4 space, you're supposed to put 5 single crochets. And so I am going to do chain 1 and just do 2 single crochets. So you go around the ring. So there's 1 single crochet and there's 2. And I am then going to do the remaining of this square when I come back around the other side. So this, you can fasten off and just start on a new chain 4 space, but I did not fasten off, and so I've done 1 chain, 2 single crochets. We're going to do a chain to get over to the next gap, to the next chain 4 space, and in each chain 4 space you do 5 single crochets. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. To get over to the next chain space, or the next gap, you chain 1 and do it again all the way around. So before I continue, I'll just show you what we have here. So your hoop is going to go into the center of your crochet project. So you have the top round is going to be going on your ring. So I'm going to continue around this, and I'll come back and show you how you do your hanging. I just finished my last 5 single crochets in this gap, and I chain 1 to go to the next section. This is where I began. So this technically has 3 stitches in it. The chain 1 is 1 and then 2 more single crochets. So I'm going to add 2 single crochets to this to make it 5 total. And I'm going to just join the top with a slip stitch. So, oh my goodness, this is going to be a good one. Look at that. This is the ring. And it's a 5-inch ring. You can use whatever size. I wanted to be able to fit a full quart mason jar in this, so I think this will work really nice. The next part is to chain straps to hang it with, and I don't fasten off at this point. I'm just going to go ahead and chain equal number of chains and attach it on the opposite side with a slip stitch and tie the straps in the middle. Here is the small one that I had already completed. So you just chain equal number on each side, attach it with a slip stitch. Up here at the top, I just tied them together. You could also use just a 2-inch ring if you wanted to crochet and use that as your hanger. That would work wonderful. At this point, you can just be creative. Use what you have in your supply. You could even mix your mediums and put twine on here to go with your base. You can use the ring. Sky's the limit. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this one. Again, you can download the pattern from our website, DIY on the House. Well, I hope that was helpful. If you have any questions, like I said, please comment down below. Consider giving us the thumbs up and check back to DIY on the House for more DIY tips.